So the rules are on screen. Pause if you need to, although this is mostly front-loaded in the run, so it's not going to be too much of an issue to get down. But whether or not I'm going to survive, we'll see an Ath medical history, all perks, Mizuki. Well, also, yes, I know that the beta version is available. To remind everyone, I don't have a Steam copy of the game. I could get it myself. People have offered it to me, so I'm very, very thankful that they have offered. But I will politely decline as I get Strength, Dexterity, Light, Takshisan, Knowledge, every single stat check, Light, and Takshisan. So, yeah. And then this one, the original version of this challenge didn't have Rest and Prepare as available, but I think, considering that Harbinger is now our hardest difficulty, because the last time I did this challenge, True Believer was the hardest difficulty, and now it's not. And Harbinger already introduces, I think, enough for me to treat this as the normal version of this challenge. That said, not finding any items isn't going to be great, but let's get on after we put on a school uniform, question mark? What is that? Private school. Yeah, I thought, it's not the normal schoolgirl uniform, but I did recognize, I just didn't know the name. Botanist, Hell, Scissors, Akamanto, Festival. Well, I've been scarred ever since a certain run where I did Akamanto first as Mizuki, so instead we're either going to do Hell or Botanist. Probably Hell, considering that I want to do Akamanto and Scissors, so that bad things don't happen to me. And the requirement is that I only use the Witch's Tree, 3 times, but this time 2 times because we're going to account for Harbinger, but I would normally use spells anyway as I get Panic and Branded. Well, I mean, that's a pretty bad roll of the curses, but considering that certain curses are going to be, I do have Ghostly Spear and Brainworms is whatever, but yeah, it could have been a lot better. Maybe if this is -1 all, let's see. Akamanto is not going to be an Eldritch enemy, and if I'm in Timeline A, Scissor, yeah, I think this is actually worth it. So. Unfortunately, I can only use it in an encounter, so you know what, so be it. I thought it was a ritual, never mind. But if an enemy does more than -1 all damage, which is -2 damage or -2 all damage or more, then obviously you would probably want to use it if you're going to be in the encounter for more than 2 turns. So again, despite all the I call them ZKS loops, but pretty much loops that are available in the game. And maybe a few of them are really not relatable. What do I want to say? I'm on, what backstory? Oh, medical history. Let's try. Why do we care about stats anyway? But, I could say something about the balance there. If I forget, someone can remind me and ask me, hey, Jordan, didn't you want to talk about, you know, balancing stats and events? Ask me if you really want to find out. Otherwise, what was I saying earlier? I keep forgetting. There's so much there's so much I could talk about. Hopefully I remember. But yeah, let's just continue onward. I'm just gonna talk about Abolish, even though that's probably not what I was talking about. Also note that I don't have a single weapon at all. So yeah, we could just I mean, you could look at the beginning of the run and say, well, maybe I should have nah, we'll do this for now, because it's not impossible, it's just improbable. So that's it. Ghostly Spear on its own. We have every single stat check, so we are taking pretty much 6 stamina guaranteed if you don't build into strength 9. So here's hoping. And this is also a vampire vampire type enemy, which drains, usually they drain life. I don't remember if all of them do, but I feel like they do. But that means I'm going to be doing one per... Yeah, so I'm just going to do this. So I just lost HP for no reason, but... usually I would prepare and buy a weapon, but since that's not going to be happening here... Unless that happens... Okay, fine. You know what? It doesn't matter how bad my luck is. Even if I end up dying to complete bad luck, the katana, it literally outweighs everything, so... Granted, it is not very likely, so in a vacuum of runs, it's not going to happen. It's probably going to happen 1-2 times per 10 runs, so, you know, because you have to roll the 33% unless you run into 2 otherworldly events. Then you have to roll the perception check, so pretty much 50% of, let's even say 66%. And let's assume, so yeah, maybe 33% around-ish. But anywho, let's go into Scissors now. And let's find out what timeline we're on. And the whole reason I keep repeating, again, it is a subjective point of view to some extent. But let's see here. Bow, yeah, so 5 bows. But since I normally when I do a challenge series, being consistent is obviously more valuable than hoping for a one-trick katana or a one-trick chainsaw without spending so much doom. That said, I mean, I do believe in the luck stat in real life. Not as a supernatural thing, but, I mean, you can't deny that someone who does 3 runs on Harbinger maybe gets katana, gets a chainsaw for, like, 16% doom, and their Toshiaki, and they get Thought Flash. And then the 3rd run, they just play as Aiko in Ath or Ithotu run, so, like, it can happen. And if that's the case, at that point, anyone being like, oh, Harbinger actually... I mean, it is somewhat still hard. It's been patched right now. Again, the beta is... 92F is available right now to people who are... I think you have to not subscribe, but you have to turn the beta... the beta option on in Steam, specifically, because Steam is the only one who has it, I think. But... otherwise, I'm gonna take Second Sight just in case, and we'll start building into strength. But yeah, you have to have bought World of Horror on Steam. Why do I not remember that's a stamina? I swear I remember that's a stamina. You hear me slam my desk a little bit, but yeah. And then you have to turn the option on. Most people forget to turn the option on, from what I see. But obviously, I bought my copy of World of Horror on another platform, so. And you could call this me complaining about the fact, but I mean, it's not my decision, and I'm not really angry about it. It's just the truth. So it's because people ask me, and I have to repeat the question, so I figure it's going to be a very, very obvious question. That said, Katana and 5-bow ritual, don't mind if I do. Could still die, but I mean, at this point, 22% doom because we have scissors, but still, yeah, it's pretty good. Also Iwa, so that's why my strength was so high. I was like, why is my strength so high? Because I have Iwa. So yeah, Iwa, Katana, Scissors, where you get all the ritual things right. But mainly it's that I know the ritual as well, so yeah, arguably, I mean, some people want to change. I mean, I heard a good idea that I thought was a good idea, that the tutorial mystery should be eels. I understand. I might be able to understand. Again, I don't know the reason why, but I might be able to understand why. Can I? I might as well go for this. If I miss both of these, so be it. But yeah, but that's nice too. Yeah, we have good luck. But yeah. So if I were to counter argue why scissors should still be the first tutorial mystery, it's because it has a relatively small amount of investigations, and it's hard to die in Timeline A Scissors. You could still die, it's just very much less likely. But at the same time, I understand eels. I would still be on the side of eels, where as a tutorial mystery, because it's the average number of investigations you're going to be going to. It introduces you to the ally system. Arguably, eels is just as easy or easier than then I had to think for a moment. Then scissors, because Kana mitigates 1 point of damage, which you might not feel on an easier difficulty, but still though, it's very good. Again, another small counter argument is that you might be fooled by the amount of damage she's actually Kana, he, or they are actually mitigating. Because oh shoot, I have to. I think I can do this. Is this a guaranteed kill? Let's find out, I guess. Oh, I have panic. I should have... Yeah. Okay, good thing I didn't miss. This should be a kill, yeah, because it does... Even if it's 12 instead... Oh, never mind. It's not guaranteed. Well... Funny, haha. So here's where dexterity would help a lot more, but I would need... Well, let me see. 77, so I need to decrease that by 17 time units minimum. And assuming that dexterity is dexterity times 4 minus speed is the calculation here. Obviously, getting fame would help out, but we're on an all perks run. But then I would need well, I don't even need to look at this. All we need to do is look at this. So we need 16, but really 20, because if it's times 4, then I need 5 more points of dexterity to prep strong, but that's not happening. So instead, what we're gonna do is do this and then trade 4 reason for 2 stamina, so that we can survive. Unless he was going to choke me, but that was I didn't read the chat actually, so I completely forgot what I was also talking about earlier because I had to concentrate on that. But hey. And we're probably not going to get a slot C weapon, so I'll equip this now. I usually equip the Crestfallen Mask immediately, but as of characters getting their personal items, sometimes it's worth it to hold on it because you might be wearing a slot C item. Curse cartridge notwithstanding, but again, it would be one of the items that you might wear, and then there's no point in lowering Doom because you don't need to, because you're not going to die to it, but to think about things. Also, yeah, let's actually rest. Let's actually rest a whole bunch, because we are on our 4th mystery with 37, probably 41% Doom. I can actually just continue. I shouldn't have rested there because I need to do a force investigation anyway, but you get the point. So let's ignore it. That's only one reason, and move on. I'm not on True Believer, right? Yeah, I'm on Harbinger. So, yeah. Why do we care? Why do we care about... Thankfully, I also never got an injury from getting hit during medical history. Not that I've been hit a lot, but I think I've been hit like 3 or 4 times. Anywho, and we still have Ghostly Spear. And now we have Ashen Contract, but... Yeah, I mean, I need it because I fail everything else, but again, as I already mentioned before... Oh, I almost hit something. Yeah, as I mentioned before, Katana, Iwa... and things. Yes, granted, I'm not really bracing, so strength isn't doing as much, but listen, it's if you get the katana, that alone is more than enough warrants. It warrants, you know, your run was pretty lucky, and that the chance of you losing the run is much lower. Or flip that around, the chance of you winning the run is a lot higher. Or surviving the run, I guess, is more accurate to say. And if we had gotten Timeline B, I would have gladly fought the thing, unless it was really Doom-intensive, but even that doesn't matter, because we might actually reach the Lighthouse with under 70% Doom, which is pretty much free at that point. I mean, there's, again, unless I get, like, 3 stacks of Drenched, Cut Artery, which will actually ruin me, because I have no other locations available, but we'll just throw this out. And now we're coughing blood, but that's not the worst thing to happen. Yes, our dexterity dropped by 3, but oh no, my katana action slowed down by 8, which doesn't do anything. So, again, it's the whole thing. Anywho, we'll take running shoes. We might want to just run around and play. I don't know. No point increasing anything else. Stats don't matter during events. It's a meme. Perspective, but at the same time, if you fail like 75% of your event checks, especially if you're on Harbinger, then yeah, and the game rolls 9, 10s, 11s, and 12s, like, who's going to have a stat there? Like, who realistically? Anywho, I should have actually rested, because resting is more, yeah, and I didn't have fetid fumes, so that's a mistake, but it's a bit too late now. Unfortunately, what that means is, unless I have a high chance of hitting this is going to hurt a lot, but I don't have much else of a choice. Yeah, I don't have much else. Yeah, do I? Yeah, actually I do. I can brace, kick. Probably, nope, only 1 kick. And then I should be able to desperate action my way out. Thankfully, it's only tiny cuts for now. I could also get rid of coughing blood, but I don't need to because it does nothing for me. Unless I actually can't do a strong attack, but again, I would pretty much have to be at -3 dexterity. That's just a hard guess, but you get what I mean. It takes a lot. So, we'll take the Doom, because we can take the Doom. Our Doom is rising quite high, but I mean, yeah, listen. I could have also run, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're at the end of the mystery. We can do anything we want. Our Doom's gonna rise by, like, maybe he can rise by 10, but I wouldn't care still, because we have the light check and the Takashi check. So Takashi should pretty much get absolutely obliterated, and if he doesn't, well, we'll find out. But the the point is that I just need to get. Oh, I was supposed to heal Reason. I was thinking of healing Reason because I had the lump of flesh, but yeah. And if I die to Branded, so be it. But I'm just gonna rest 5 times and or 4 times, whatever however much I rested, and we should be just fine. So yeah. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I did get extremely lucky because the only weapon I picked up was the katana. So without the katana, I'd be running a lot, and running even 2 times would have killed me here. So the run's not over yet, but it's pretty much over. I could have even insta-killed him here, but didn't need to. So we'll actually just forget all of this. Ghostly Spear is not useful anymore. There are no more encounters because the world is about to see me say the world ? Anywho. So, that was the challenge. If you have any suggestions, you know what to do. If you want to support me, you know what to do. Otherwise, I won't take up more of your time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!